This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. H. Rider Haggard. Ayesha, the Return of She. Chapter 14. The Court of Death. Now the curtains were open. Before us appeared a chamber hollowed from the thickness of the altar, and in its centre a throne, and on the throne a figure clad in waves of billowy white flowing from the head over the arms of the throne down to its marble steps. We could see no more in the comparative darkness of that place, save that beneath the folds of the drapery the Oracle held in its hands a loop-shaped jewelled sceptre. Moved by some impulse we did as Oros had done, prostrating ourselves, and there remained upon our knees. At length we heard a tinkling as of little bells, and looking up, saw that the sistrum-shaped sceptre was stretched towards us by the draped arm which held it. Then a thin clear voice spoke, and I thought that it trembled a little. It spoke in Greek, but in a much purer Greek than all these people used. I greet you, wanderers, who have journeyed so far to visit this most ancient shrine, and although doubtless of some other faith, are not ashamed to do reverence to that unworthy one who is for this time its oracle and the guardian of its mysteries. Rise now, and have no fear of me, for have I not sent my messenger and servants to conduct you to this sanctuary? Slowly we rose and stood silent, not knowing what to say. I greet you, wanderers, the voice repeated. Tell me thou, and the sceptre pointed towards Leo, how art thou named? I am named Leo Vincey, he answered. Leo Vincey, I like the name, which to me well befits a man so goodly. And thou, the companion of Leo Vincey? I am named Horace Holly. So? Then tell me, Leo Vincey and Horace Holly, what came ye so far to seek? We looked at each other and I said, the tale is long and strange. Oh, but what title must we address thee? By the name which I bear here, Hes. O Hes, I said, wondering what name she bore elsewhere. Yet I desire to hear that tale, she went on, and to me her voice sounded eager. Nay, not all tonight, for I know that you are both weary, a little of it only. In sooth, strangers, there is a sameness in this home of contemplations, and no heart can feed only on the past, if such a thing there be. Therefore I welcome a new history from the world without. Tell it me, thou, Leo, as briefly as thou wilt, so that thou tell the truth, for in the presence of which I am a minister may nothing else be uttered. Priestess, he said in his curt fashion, I obey. Many years ago, when I was young, my friend and foster father and I, led by records of the past, travelled to a wild land, and there found a certain divine woman who had conquered time. Then that woman must have been both aged and hideous. I said, priestess, that she had conquered time, not suffered it, for the gift of immortal youth was hers. Also she was not hideous, she was beauty itself. Therefore, stranger, thou didst worship her for her beauty's sake as a man does. I did not worship her, I loved her, which is another thing. The priest Oros here worships thee, whom he calls mother. I loved that immortal woman. Then thou shouldst love her still. Yet not so, since love is very mortal. I love her still, he answered, although she died. Why, how is that? Thou saidst she was immortal. Perchance she only seemed to die, perchance she changed. At least I lost her, and what I lost I seek, and have sought this many a year. Why dost thou seek her in my mountain, Leo Vincey? Because a vision led me to ask counsel of its oracle. I am come hither to learn tidings of my lost love, since here alone these may be found. And thou, Holly, didst thou also love an immortal woman, whose immortality, it seems, must bow to death?" "Priestess," I answered, "I am sworn to this quest, and where my foster son goes, I follow. He follows beauty that is dead, and thou dost follow him. Therefore both of you follow a beauty as men have ever done, being blind and mad." "Nay," I answered, "if they were blind, beauty would be naught to them who could not see it, and if they were mad, they would not know it when it was seen. Knowledge and vision belong to the wise, O Hes." "Thou art quick of wit and tongue, Holly, as—" and she checked herself, then of a sudden said, "Tell me, did my servant, the Khania of Kaloon, entertain both of you hospitably in her city, and speed you on your journey hither as I commanded her?" "We knew not that she was thy servant," I replied. "Hospitality we had and to spare, but we were sped from her court hitherward by the death hounds of the Khan, her husband. Tell us, Priestess, what thou knowest of this journey of ours." "A little," she answered carelessly. "More than 3 months ago my spies saw you upon the far mountains, and creeping very close to you at night, heard you speak together of the object of your wanderings, then returning thence swiftly, made report to me. Thereon I bade the Khania Atene and that old magician, her great uncle, who is guardian of the gate, go down to the ancient gates of Kaloon to receive you and bring you hither with all speed. Yet for men who burned to learn the answer to a riddle, you have been long in coming." "We came as fast as we might, O Hes," said Leo, "and if thy spies could visit those mountains, where no man was, and find a path down that hideous precipice, they must have been able also to tell thee the reason of our delay. Therefore I pray, ask it not of us." "Nay, I will ask it of Atene herself, and she shall surely answer me, for she stands without," replied the Hesea in a cold voice. "Oros, lead the Khania hither and be swift." The priest turned, and walking quickly to the wooden doors by which we had entered the shrine, vanished there. "Now," said Leo to me nervously in the silence that followed and speaking in English, "now I wish we were somewhere else, for I think that there will be trouble." "I don't think, I am sure," I answered, "but the more the better, for out of trouble may come the truth, which we need sorely." Then I stopped, reflecting that the strange woman before us said that her spies had overheard our talk upon the mountains, where we had spoken nothing but English. As it proved, I was wise, for quite quietly the Hesea repeated after me, "Thou hast experience, Holly, for out of trouble comes the truth, as out of wine." Then she was silent, and needless to say, I did not pursue the conversation. The doors swung open, and through them came a procession clad in black, followed by the Shaman Simbri, who walked in front of a bier upon which lay the body of the Khan, carried by 8 priests. Behind it was Atene, draped in a black veil from head to foot, and after her marched another company of priests. In front of the altar the bier was set down, and the priest fell back, leaving Atene and her uncle standing alone before the corpse. "What seeks my vassal the Khania of Kaloon?" asked the Hesea in a cold voice. Now Atene advanced and bent the knee, but with little graciousness. "Ancient Mother, Mother from old, I do reverence to thy holy office, as my forefathers have done for many a generation," and again she courtesied. "Mother, this dead man asked of thee that right of sepulchre in the fires of the Holy Mountain, which from the beginning has been accorded to the royal departed who went before him." "It has been accorded, as thou sayest," answered the Hesea, "by those priestesses who filled my place before me, nor shall it be refused to thy dead lord, or to thee, Atene, when thy time comes." "I thank thee, O Hes, and I pray that this decree may be written down, for the snows of age have gathered of thy venerable head, and soon thou must leave us for a while. Therefore bid thy scribes that it be written down, so that the Hesea who rules after thee may fulfil it in its season. Cease."